2011 I was approached to save the Manor House Community Centre in Narborough Road, so I set up Cosmopolitan Arts, and we did the first ever Cosmopolitan Arts Festival. It was known as the Cosmopolitan Carnival at the time, to celebrate cultural diversity. We worked with the Chinese community and the event grew and it was really successful.
The real Chinese community, it's been carried on for 30 odd years maybe to start with, and start from a small group because I've been joining. I come to England when I was 15 in 1970. So I explained all the in and coming, and then we've been very together because we used to have a big community.
So the Chinese Community Centre in Leicester ended in 2013 due to lack of funding, and it was a fantastic venue, and now the Chinese community in Leicester has no place to call their own. So I started to work with the Confucius Institute, and in 2016 we basically had a meeting, and it happened to be on Chinese New Year, and I said, why aren't you doing anything? And they said that because there was nothing. So we decided that we would do Chinese New Year. I started working with Chinese communities around the city, and we then did our first ever research into Chinese migration to Leicester.
Derby Chinese community in Derby. We have about 100-something members. I think maybe between 120 to 150, because some of them are not active, some of them are active. Most of them, they knew each other for many years. I think back to about 30, 40 years ago. Most of them, they used to work in the catering industry, Chinese takeaway or Chinese restaurants. So they knew each other for so many years. Most of them are from Derby City, Derbyshire, or even though some of them from Nottingham near here.
What we found from our research was that Derby was probably the most together and had a purpose-built community centre and delivered lots of activities within the community, and they seemed the most content. In Nottingham, there were several different communities, so we've got two different branches of the Welfare Association. Both universities had Chinese organisations there, including Nottingham Trent having the Confucius Institute. Their welfare associations in both Nottingham and Derby enable Chinese elders to be able to have access to translation when they go to get medical care, or just support with letters and stuff. Leicester doesn't have that. And not having that support has meant that the community here is more dispersed and isolated than in other cities in the region. We heard a range of stories, and what I found was that there was a lot of sad tales. People being sad, leaving their country or going through lots of harrowing stuff. But also some happy tales, some love stories, cross-cultural relationships. You know, it was the dynamics and the stories, and also the transition with different decades and people coming to the UK and settling in the East Midlands were very different stories. So, you know, somebody in the 1950s came here for very different reasons to somebody who's come in the 2010s.
Everybody have a different life story. You know, everybody, and some of them more experienced with it, some we don't, but everybody have say their own mean, you know. I mean, it's been very interesting, very interesting.
I was so amazed because some of the stories are so touching, fascinating, and I never thought of, well, that will happen to them. So it was so amazing when I heard all the different stories. Some of them from Hong Kong, some of them from China, so different people have different experiences. They were so great.
And it's so important to have these stories told, because otherwise they're lost forever. and people don't understand their heritage and their culture. And I think for me, and the work that Cosmopolitan Arts has done, you know, the whole essence of it is to really encapsulate the culture and keep it alive. And so to help break down barriers and allow people to understand the culture better.
我係1960年。
And my husband and Lester and the Chinese laundry. I come, my husband and Lester Chinese laundry. That's it. I come to Lester to get my husband.
咁啊，我嚟英國咧，就因為咧我個姐夫咧就陳德善咧，咁啊佢係客家人，因為佢當時咧係客，所謂客，因為就係英國政府就叫新界人咧嚟英國，少啲限制啊，所以好多就係新界人嚟先啊。咁但係新界人咧就講客家話嘅多，咁啊我咧就係即係香港出生，即係香港本地人。
And get the ship and the big ship, you know, 1 month. And Singapore and Egypt and India. That's come to England.
英國個船叫做鐵行叫英國船叫做孖煙通，即係咩個船係兩個煙通。英國嗰隻大船咧4個煙通㗎，你煙通你知道，咁所以咧佢英國咧就孖煙通，英國咧就海運啊，就全世界㗎。嗰陣時咧，英國咧叫做英國國旗無落日咧。
1966年9月23號、24號過嚟英國，就過嚟英國之後，我老公就去機場接我，然後咧佢講俾我知，佢啱啱喺醫院出嚟。我問佢點解會喺醫院出嚟，佢話因為佢打麻將打到暈低，所以嗰陣時我又戴緊套，戴咗套一嚟到，因為搭飛機咧嗰啲氣流啊，整到我嘔啊，成20幾個鐘頭嗰陣時，唔知24個鐘至可以嚟到英國嘅，因為嗰啲飛機好細架嗰啲咧，咁就。後尾我就嘔啊！後尾嚟到英國第2日，我個仔就出世咯。
我老公一隻捱來到一趟，嚟到英國，我老公同我打工，因為搶有咗房租，然後真是好困難。
因為咧，我爸爸媽媽就嚟英國都好10年啦，十幾20年啦，我先至嚟嘅。即係爸爸媽媽喺英國，我所以咪過嚟咯。
I came to the UK in 1989, and as a scholar, supported by government.
I came to UK in 1989. That was like nearly 33 years ago. And I came here as a student.
My husband, he's English. He worked in the power station. One day when I sit in my shop outside, and he passing, and that's it. He stopped there. He stared at me. He said, "The girl's beautiful," and he come along and said hello to me. That's it, and said hello. And the next day doing exactly the same things, and every day, 3 months, every day I said, that's very interesting. And I have no idea because I'm not speaking English. A bit scary, very scary. A lot of people say he may like you. I said no, I'm not sure about that. I'm not speaking English. He said just ignoring. So and I keep for 3 months, even 6 months. He passed every day. And then one day he come along, ask me, can I invite you having a drink?
Before I landed down to Heathrow, I saw a lot of smoke coming up from the chimney, right? So I'm thinking, oh, so I come from a city. I expect, because Hong Kong is the colony of UK, so I expect UK much more advanced than Hong Kong, right? So I looked from the top of the plane and looked down. I said, oh, it looked like I went to my my grandmom's village. So that is the first impression when I come to this country.
He come back England, and I come back home, and I just mentioned about to my mom. I said I got a boyfriend because he's English. He lived with England. I said, my mom said, where is England? Is how many hours bus?
我應該係響2000年嚟到英國嘅。
我是2002年從中國來的英國，我是有這個工作簽證來的這個英國進行從事綜藝工作。
我是從中國的重慶來英國的，然後我是認識了我老公過來，就2005年，然後結婚辦的結婚簽證過來的，然後當時我一個人過來的，在機場我老公到機場來接我的。
I came to the UK in 2011. Basically, I went to the Ningbo campus of University of Nottingham in 2009, and I had my first 2 years in Ningbo campus, and then I came here to further study my degree, and then after coming over here, I met a lot of friends doing music in Nottingham.
即係當我有 BNO 申請嗰時咧，咁我仔仔就話：不如你兩個老人家過嚟啦，我哋可以照顧你。 就唔使分開兩邊咁遠啦。咁但係咧就係我哋嚟得比較急啊。通常如果我成個家當要搬嚟嘅話咧，就好多嘢就起碼 pack 箱 pack 成。
Before I came back in 2016, I have two choices. I have friends in London, and I have another good friends in Derby. So I would just rather choose Derby because Derby is a smaller city. I came from Hong Kong. It's a very modern, busy city. I guess London will be the same, so there's no point to stay in a busy city where I came from. So Derby should be I think it's my better choice. I have somebody look after me because I have good friends here.
Yeah, it's cold. Yeah, my country, that's it. Yeah, the winter time, that's cold, no snowing. That's it. England doesn't go snowing that.
我中意英國咧嘅重要幾方面，我咧個身體咧好特別，又怕冷又怕熱。咁英國嘅氣候咧就係咩嘅？就係冷。
Oh, the before. Oh, that's different. That no big building, no Indian people, and the before, no lady put in the trousers, or put the skirt and put in the skirt and head, and no hat, you know.
When I first I come, foggy because I'm come on the November. It's foggy, so it's totally different from Hong Kong, and then be cold. What I'm thinking, that's the first, and then we haven't got buy your Chinese food. No, it's so when we started to here, and you eat the Chinese, the English food instead of the Chinese. It's difficult to get it because when I first come to Derby, they haven't got any Chinese supermarket. That's why we need to eat the Chinese English food.
The first few weeks feels so strange, and then the weather is really bad actually to us because if you come from the tropical tropical country to the England is very cold in the summer to us.
對唔住，我真係好唔中意，我日日都喊，因為我見唔到太陽，我見唔到屋企人，咁咧佢就唔多理我啦，因為佢又返工，我又返工。
Quite sad, to be honest, but I didn't get used to that. You see people in the house, all different culture, different people. I stay, the airport, around. I say it's not like China. A bit upset, Very cold, all different weather. It's cold and the wind. It's all different. A bit upset. So that's
the people are so nice, so friendly. On the bus, the elderly people just calling darling, my dear. That's extremely wonderful. I mean, talking about this 30 years ago. Yeah, the time before I came to UK, China just got over from Cultural Revolution. Virtually we were a blank. Everything started from nil, from nothing. So for me, here in UK, everything is a wonderful experience. Everything.
那我呢，就是刚来到英国，我的英文是很差的，那我连自己的学校都不会去。然后我就用最简单的英文就问路上的人，就是我的学校是这个地址，怎么走？哎呀，没想到那些人不认识的人好到不得了，每一个人呢都很认真的指给我，给我指路，给我指路我都不明白，他看我还是不明白，就带我走到那个路那里再指，很内心。
然后我刚来英国的时候，我就觉得很新鲜感，有一种就是跟我们中国完全不一样的文化生活。但是我就很喜欢这边的天气啊，还有我就觉得感觉他们人的那个亲和力然后很好，然后很有礼貌。人互相见面都要打个招呼就不认识的人都要打招呼，然后我就觉得慢慢就喜欢上这边了，然后我就一直在家里嘛，就相当于也没工作，就待在家里跟我老公。
唔係好熟悉㗎，人各樣嘅自己都唔係好理解㗎。不過我諗我嚟咗大概半年啦，我開始即係熟悉啲英國嗰個即係嗰個文化同埋啲人事各樣咯嚇。咁我覺得英國個地方好好咯嚇，係嗰啲尤其是咧，我覺得喺英國好自由周圍嘅居住環境咧，又比起我以前喺香港好好多呢樣嘢。
唔好嘅咧就係感覺呢度天氣咧係凍啊！夏天就好開心嘅，夏天嗰啲日頭時間長啦，咁冷天好似而家冬天就會 天氣太凍，因為喺香港從來未試過2、3度嗰啲咁嘅氣候嘅。
我嚟到昌時要冇工作，我老公同我打工嘅，我要去工廠同我打工，因為我怕死，我要搭電去綠茶啫嘛。
我係1967年嚟咗英國去 Nottingham 嗰度餐館嗰度咧就做工，做咗年幾啊！嗰陣時咧做工好辛苦，同埋時間好長。朝頭早9點鐘咧到廚房，就做到夜晚成點鐘嘅。嗰陣時啲餐館好忙，好生意。我哋嗰陣時人工又好少，得7磅半銀一個禮拜。
之後我就出嚟做工咯，就去西人工廠做，做咗幾個月啦。嗰陣時啲人都好好嘅，西人嗰啲都好開心，同佢哋認識咗一班朋友啦。佢哋就嗰啲鬼妹就對我好好啊。
話妹攬隻腳啊，做炒鍋，做廚房炒鍋，做下又冇咩乜嘅，總之講很多。
From the start, I just thinking, to run a Chinese takeaway, just make my life easier, But I found that Chinese takeaway is not my type of work.
我以前咧就係唔使講噶啦，個個都係做廚房噶啦，又識英文啊，做樓面咯，做waiter嗰啲咯，係咪？但係咧我哋因為我嗰隻耳咧唔係好聽得到嘢，咁就係就識做廚房穩陣啲啦，咁啊而家做咗成10幾年廚房噶啦。
In 2017, me and a couple of other friends from Nottingham, we started this label called Running Circle, and we started to putting out releases for both local musicians and also artists around the world. It has been a really great journey for us to be able to put out releases in both digital and physical forms. And through this label we're doing, I'm very lucky to be able to link up with more people over here that's like in the music industry and more DJs and performers over here as well.
I don't have a full-time job now. I work as a part-timer in various jobs. I work in the Chinese Center. Some weekend or evening I work in the Chinese takeaway. The reason why I couldn't find a 9-to-5 job is because of I have to take care of my children.
I immigrated with my family, so I work in the restaurant. And the restaurant is really badly at the time, especially on at the night time, at the weekend, especially after 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at that time. When they came into the restaurant, always shouting, "I'm not going to pay the bill." They keep saying, "I'm not going to pay the bill," or they just finish the meal, and walk out straight away. They don't bother who you are, just going. That's really bad. And then the youngster then push the doors open, and then they shouting, "Chinky, chinky," all that. Yeah, all the street, when you met them at the street, they always shouting.
嗰時我哋嚟嗰時咧，啲人即係言語初嚟嘅言語唔係好啊，同埋啲西人即係溝通唔到，有啲人又唔中意我哋啲西人啊，有啲人又欺負我哋啲人啊，即係見到嗰啲人啊撩你啊，清咁樣，有啲又吐口水啊咁之類，有啲就想恰你啊咁樣之類。
俾人嚇，跪地下打，
打交，打叫咩？隔離居婆啊，隔離居婆咧，做行啊就驚住佢生啊死佬個，嗌住佢生啊死佬個，佢行啊就猜理清氣，但係就死佬個，叫咩？我只嚟做生意衰啦，做包一齊樓，包一齊樓嘅，我隔離一種人行嚟打嚟，打去我嚟做去搭話。因為行一齊樓嚟得咧，見高嘅隔離一條嘅，而用見嘅戲嘅唔好嚇人㗎。
不過呢個真係中心話，係我哋真係忍得好犀利㗎。佢哋真係初初對我哋好差㗎。第一我哋黃皮膚佢已經唔係咁中意，就算啲細路仔仲衰，真係喺後邊啊就掟下嘢啊，掟我哋啊，有時講嗰啲話啦，你翻你國家啦嗰啲，當時有我哋都詐聽唔到，詐唔識聽咁樣咯，因為冇辦法啦，咁啊耷低頭行。但係而家唔係啦，呢2年我哋會有個電話可以打去俾佢哋投訴啊。
To be honest, racism happens in any country, right? I found this country is better in these topics, right? Discrimination, racism, harassment, bullying. I think at least they won't do it. At least they know that it's against the law, right? But you cannot stop people thinking, yeah? You cannot stop people think, but they can think. But I think racism, yes, everybody got racism, to be honest.
Some local kids English, he call me Tinky or something. I said, shut up. I just say that. And they just smiling.
嚟到呢度英國咧，遇到我哋中國人嚟到英國，咁係冇人歧視我哋嘅，即係英國人都係好好咯，唔分種族啊，黑皮膚、白皮膚、黃皮膚嗰啲都係當你一樣個人咁樣對待，而且係冇分種族歧視啦，最好就係呢樣嘢咯。
Yeah, I would say yes. There was always a little bit of negative things going on in the UK towards maybe Asian people or Chinese people. Like for example, there was quite a bit of like hate crimes against Asian people when the coronavirus just happened a couple of years ago.
There's no such issue as racism or discrimination. I think the education was better now.
以前就冇乜過時過節，而家有啲埠就有咗嗰啲會所啊，我哋都多數去會所嗰度慶祝下，食餐飯啊，睇下表演啊咁。即係有啲伙計啊、啲朋友啊咁啊，做咗成圍台咁嚟食飯啦，當年慶祝咁之類啦。自從有咗呢個華人會成立咗咧，啲人啊個個都新年啊，個個都一齊嚟啊！華人會慶祝新年啊，慶祝啲咩中秋節啊、咩節日啊咁樣，大家一齊坐埋嚟慶祝啊咁。嗰陣時有幾百個人一齊噶，
都有。我好想參加呢啲活動啦，同埋以前我亦都好想幫佢哋煮飯咧，俾佢啲人食啦，即係煮好多人啊，唔係，因為喺關飯嗰時候咧，佢哋都有個 community 嘅。
只係識得同父母溝通下，講自己中國溝通，自己識得中文咁樣咯，即係意思。而家都幾差唔多。同個仔女同西人差唔多嘅，已經冇咩中國思想真係好少嘅，而家真係意思。
Well, we can connecting with our culture, you see, such like a Chinese school, Sunday school, so the children can come in, can get meet their friend, and then learning to teach the Chinese language and the writing as well. So they won't forget where they come from.
我覺得啊，即係我覺得因為我嚟到英國咧，咁都係喺
啱啱喺打比咧呢度咧有個會所，咧咁我哋多數都喺會所聚會，咁咧所以過年過節啊，我哋都係多數都喺會所呢度搞噶啦，都係喺會所搞 party 啊嗰啲，都好開心，
Yeah, I feel particularly, as we live in the overseas, even though this is like Chinese traditional festival, but we still miss our culture, miss our New Year, Chinese calendar, let's say, lunar calendar, because it's not. No, for the Chinese people, it's not like you want to go back to home. You can go anytime. They have their job. They have to work. They can't have sort of a holiday easily. So, and the Chinese community organize this kind of activities, party. I feel most of people. Enjoy it.
Chinese, we got a very, very strong culture. The Chinese culture is in our blood. We got all sorts of festivals, and more importantly, we had very, very strong family ties. Family is everything. Your mother, your father, your kids. They are the most important thing to us. I think that's the core of Chinese culture.
比如说朋友聚会啊，聚在一起端午节，大家吃粽子啊，然后包粽子啊，大家都一起动手包粽子。然后中秋节的话，就买点月饼，然后晚上大家一起坐在，包括我的丈夫，我们都在一起，就是。看看月亮啊！
係啦，呢一樣咧，即係我都係覺得嚟到呢度咧係一個困難，就係我好希望咧主流嘅學校裏邊咧會提供一啲嘅中文字或者嘅學習啦，即係保留我哋即係中文嘅語言啦，同埋中文字嘅學習啦。因為響主流學校裏邊咧，我覺得我哋嘅下一代咧，我好難保留到咧，即係佢哋通常都會講英文嚇，同埋唔識睇中文。
從當前來說，我是非常喜歡英國的文化，有關國家的這個政策和法律。
And the warm, too warm, and the China is warm that and the UK.
一大半喎，係啊。
對我嚟講冇乜所謂，不過一條瀟灑冚唪唥轉一趟，做一件一條小路過轉一趟，一條瀟灑轉一趟啊弄，
以前咧就喺香港大咗生活咁耐，梗係覺得香港係屋企啦。而家嚟咗英國，嗰啲家庭啊，啲仔女啊咁啊，有啲人有啲父母咁啊，個個都嚟晒呢度啦，梗係當呢度係自己屋企咁樣啦，係嘛？
即係都好幸運咯，過到嚟英國，因為以前我就冇諗過要翻去香港，所以我依家死我都會喺英國。
I've been here, 30 or 40 years now. UK is my home. And Derby is my home now. I love Derby.
之前最初間係住喺旁邊英國咯，我嘅，見到女人叫轉去香港中國條啊，都未幾時間啊，仲硬出間嚟嘛，除非仲係英國 OK 啊。
冇啦，我而家喺英國生活幾廿年。都喺呢度退休，都喺呢度退休，即係過生活㗎啦。最多係咪翻香港，即係當頭假度假咁樣，即係意思。即係有時翻一兩次啊，一年啊，即係多數翻嘅。而家都係退休翻，至到3幾個月咁樣，即係意思。而家我哋即係喺呢度生活慣咗嘛，即係 反而喺翻香港嗰時唔翻咯，冇試過。睇到香港啲人，哇，行路都快過人嘅，係啊，我哋溝通都成問題，咁意思。而家呢個生活都算安穩嘅，真係都算係㗎咯。
Of course, UK now, yes, because I left home. I left Hong Kong 50 years. So, when I came in 18 years, when my age is so now I'm 70.
都係依家咧喺英國住咁都我喺英國都有成30幾40年啦。我覺得喺英國住咧都好舒服，住好舒服，又即係你起碼喺香港又熱啦，係咪先？喺呢度住真係好舒服。
China is only my motherland. I was born there, but I've been here for like 33 years or this that. I feel UK is my home now, but I still love my motherland. But you know, while I'm saying UK is my home, and I got the job, I like it here, and also I'm able to put up your language.
I love China. I love to live in China, right? But the problem is, if I live in UK, I feel more security, and for my health and safety, will be much better.
係啦，喺呢度啦。又講翻咧。係咯，因為依家我咧80歲啦，咁依家咁嘅政治環境，你翻嚟香港又好話唔好聽，我都諗住翻香港過世㗎啦。但係咧
，sometimes I go to Nottingham, I'll go to London day out, and I said I want to come back home. My husband said where? China. I said no, Leicester.
在这儿我是个普通的医生，普通的人民，走到那儿人人平等。尤其是前年新冠病毒这样严重的时候，给我店铺给我的工资，我老伴的工资，按人民币计算给了几十万呢。这是在中国是不可能的。在中国呢，我们是。虽然我是个领导，我是个医生，是受迫害的。你说话要跟领导说是一样的，你不能说不同一样的东西，不一样的东西不行的，要说假话。我非常喜欢，但是心还是在这里。虽然老了，因为我孩子都在中国，孙子在中国，他们不能过来。但是以后的情况怎么定，我不知道。从内心说，我不想回去，我都想一直在这个地方。但是不知道以后社会怎么发展，孩子能不能过来，也是一个问题。因为孩子想过来，他们说老实话，他们每天都想过来，但是很难过来的。所以呢，我从内心来说，还是想待在这里。以后什么情况要看形势的发展。
咁我一定會揀英國，係我真正嘅屋企。
點解咧？
我真係覺得咧呢度咧俾到我好有人權啦，人權我好受尊重啦，即係我無論我係即係尤其是我係一個即係中國人嘅女性啦，係嘛？我喺度我有我嘅人權被尊重啦，呢度住嘅環境好好啦，我有一個好有質素嘅生活啦，同埋我好有自由喺呢度。
我觉得我一生中我很幸运，我有2个故乡。就第一个当然是我的中国，我的故乡。然后第2个就是英国，也算我一个家，因为毕竟我在英国跟我丈夫生活了17年，所以我真的很就是很开心，觉得我有2个故乡，我就把英国也当为作为我一个家。2个家我都很喜欢，因为都是我的回憶，然後我生活的地方。
我而家嚟咗英國都成 年幾啦，咁我都已經習慣咗而家英國嘅生活。雖然話係冷天凍啊落雨，咁已經慣咗咯。第二個冬天都嚟啦，咁我都係希望我自己能夠喺英國繼續生活落去嘅。我都好中意呢個地方，我同我先生都比較中意呢度咯。
I started feeling like Nottingham is like my second home, especially now I have so many friends over here. Like seeing that people supporting each other, taking care of each other, definitely making me feel like Nottingham is my second home now. But also at the same time, I still feel very attached to where my home. I still feel very attached to my home in China, to my friends and families in China.
In my heart, of course, UK is my home, and there are two reasons. One is I can't afford to go back anymore because of the cost of living over there is too high for me. I want my children to, in the future, find a job here, have their family here, and I think that's the way of life I like them to be in the UK.
So we worked with some amazing people. I have, from the bottom of my heart, I have to thank so many people who've been involved in this project. It was a huge undertaking. And we were welcomed with open arms into communities across the region. We had coordinators in each city. One of our key people was a gentleman called Jeff Lee, based in Derby. He worked tirelessly helping us with the translations and really supporting us and enabling us to be able to structure interviews in Derby, but also been translating the whole project. Then we had the wonderful Caroline in Leicester, who was the coordinator, and she brought together a whole swathe of people from the Chinese community in Leicester and really, really supported us on our journey. And then in Nottingham we had wonderful Ling Peng, who's an artist but also a community, you know, a large part of the Chinese community in Nottingham. And she brought together some amazing people from Nottingham and really got behind the project and supported us getting those interviews done.
Well, of course, I love to see this activity again. It would be great to have it every year in here and to help us to promote the Chinese culture in Derby. And in terms of the local Chinese community, in fact, the older generation, they are all about to, actually they're all retired. So I hope the new generation will carry on with the culture. Although it's not easy because they're all educated in here. They learn the local culture more than the Chinese culture. But as a parent, I will try my best to inherit all this culture to my children, to my next generation.
This year has been very, very successful. Amanda, what he did, join us with Nottingham, with Derby, and all them, all the interview. He's been put a lot of effort on it. He's done it very, very well.
Through doing this project, what we found is that the Chinese communities really loved what we did and really want it to continue. And I feel like we've only just begun the journey and scratched the surface, and there's so much more that we could do with the community. So that's exactly what we're going to do.